What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we're in the brand new 2025 Toyota Corolla Cross, courtesy of Younger Toyota in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we're in this one because this is an incredibly reliable SUV, very well maybe the most reliable SUV that is being built right now, and I'll go over that a little bit later in the video. But there is a new color option for 2025. All-wheel drive is available as well, and you also get 2 years or 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance to go along with that too. So ultimately in this video we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are a few different trim levels for the 2025 Corolla Cross. First one being the L, starting at $24,035, which is a $425 bump from the 2024 model year, in case you were curious. LE for $26,365, and lastly the XLE, being the one we are in today, starting at $28,260. By the way, that was all pricing for the front wheel drive configuration. If you wanted to add all-wheel drive, you can do that. Simply add $1,300 then to any of those prices. But regardless of the trim level that you go with, the power plant on the Corolla Cross is going to be the same. Powering this one is a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder, which by the way is the same engine as the Corolla, in case you were curious, putting out 169 horsepower at 6,600 RPM, 151 pound-feet of torque coming in at 4,400 RPM. That power being sent to the front wheels or all wheels through a CVT. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 9.3 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 31 in the city, 33 on the highway for the front wheel drive, 29 city, 31 then on the highway for the all-wheel drive, taking regular unleaded fuel. And so now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2025 Toyota Corolla Cross here up to speed. All right, looks like we got our straightaway, actually just like merging onto the highway here. Let's go. It's an uphill climb. All right, you can tell it's a CVT, I'll say that. Not the quickest thing in the world, but it's one of those things that the more you drive a vehicle, the more you get used to it. It's kind of like what a Camaro owner says or a 370Z owner says about the rear visibility. It's obviously not the best, but you drive a car enough, you get used to whatever. So it's not bad. It's not the worst acceleration I've ever tested, but it's certainly not that great. It's not the quickest thing, but that's okay because it's reliable. And that's why you're buying this SUV, because it's gonna last 200, 300,000 miles, because it essentially is the Toyota Corolla, which is probably the most reliable car in existence. This is just the SUV form of it. So that's why people are gonna be buying this thing, because they don't wanna have to pay for repair bills all the time, because this thing is going to last a very long time. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, of course, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 12-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 11.1-inch solid rear discs. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, that comes in at 120 feet, which is a brilliant number, quite honestly. Typically, when you break into the 1-teens, you hit sports sedan territory. And let me tell you guys, let me hit the brakes here for the braking feel. Very firm braking feel, which I personally love. It actually feels like a sports sedan when it comes to the braking feel, just because it's so ridiculously firm. Typically in SUVs, you find a very soft braking feel. Like, this is brilliant. I love the braking feel in this thing, I'll just say that. But then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get an independent McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, torsion beam rear axle for the front wheel drive setup. However, if you go with the all-wheel drive, you're going to get an independent multi-link rear suspension. So essentially what that means is if you go with the all-wheel drive, you're going to get better ride quality and better handling. So I just wanted to put that out there. The other thing is the stabilizer bar also differs when it comes to front wheel drive versus all-wheel drive. If you go with the front wheel drive, you just get a front stabilizer bar, but if you go with the all-wheel drive, you get front and rear stabilizer bars. So again, better handling for that reason as well. So overall, as far as ride quality goes, and my short little test drive here today, I think it's been perfectly fine. I will say these roads are very, very smooth, but I will say on my short test drive here today, I haven't had any issues. And that's something that I always notice when I drive the Corolla versus like the Civic or the Mazda 3 and the other competitors, is the Corolla has such a nice ride quality. Toyota has tuned the suspension in the Corolla and the Corolla Cross that we're in today to be a very smooth ride, as opposed to a more playful type of SUV around the back roads kind of thing. This is more of a luxury like ride quality when you compare it to some of the competitors. So I'll say that. As far as steering feel goes, it's okay. It's pretty much as you would expect the Corolla Cross to feel like when it comes to the steering. It's kind of on the looser side of things, not a super heavy steering feel like the Mazda CX-50 or Mazda CX-30, something like that, but it gets the job done. Touching on cabin noise, we're going 55 miles per hour right now. Really, the only thing that I'm noticing is a little bit of the engine drone, but other than that, and it's not even something that would personally bother me. I kind of like that part, but I'll let you guys be the judge to my road mic. We're actually going over a bridge right now. It's not that bad to me, so I don't got any issues there. Touching our rear visibility, I can see perfectly fine out the back, so yeah, that's perfectly fine for me as well. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review as we are pulling into this dense fog here. My goodness. Let's go ahead and take a look at the exterior now of our brand new 2025 Toyota Corolla Cross. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2025 Toyota Corolla Cross, finished in jet black. In case you were curious of our exterior color name that we have with us here on this one. But as far as the new color goes for 2025, there is a new color. It is called Polymetal Gray, in case you wanted the latest and greatest. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the Corolla Cross is made. This one is actually built and assembled in Huntsville, Alabama, in case you were curious about that. But starting up front, black front grille for the L and LE trim levels. You're going to get some metallic gray surrounds for the XLE, like you guys are looking at right now, of course. To the sides, full LED projector style headlights. That comes standard for all trim levels. I love that. They're not the reflector, they are the projector, so you get extra illumination at night there. Get LED daytime running lights, of course, with those. You get the automatic off feature for the L, but then automatic on and off for the LE and XLE trim levels. And then automatic high beams actually come standard on all trim levels across the board. I love that one. So when you have your high beams on at night, and it senses the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. So pretty convenient feature there. And then to the bottom there, you guys can see there's LED fog lights. That's actually only going to come on the XLE trim level, so that's what you guys are seeing them right now. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end. I think it looks good. Let me know what you think in the comments, but let's go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the Corolla Cross, let's go ahead and start up top there. Black roof rails for the LE and XLE trim levels. Rear privacy glass for all trim levels though. You're gonna get silver or gloss black floating roof line towards the back. Since we have the XLE, we got the silver. Otherwise you would get the gloss black. The other cool thing I wanted to show you guys is you do have Corolla Cross kind of etched into that floating roof line as well. And continuing down, you actually also have Corolla Cross in those rear taillights. Hopefully that's coming off on camera. I can't really tell myself right now, but yeah, Corolla Cross lettering found on both the taillight and the floating roof line. So I think that's a nice little attention to detail there. But taking a look at the side mirrors, they are black power side mirrors for the L, body colored for the LE and XLE trim levels, heated also for those two trims, and then integrated turret signals yet again for those two trim levels. But then take a look down at the wheel setup. 17-inch steel wheels with covers for the L, 17-inch aluminum alloys for the LE, and then 18-inch aluminum alloys for the XLE. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. So now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the Corolla Cross, starting all the way to the top there, you got a body colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, the rear spoiler. You got a rear window wiper, of course, as well. LED taillights are going to come only with the XLE trim level, so that's why we got them with us here today. You also got the trim level badging back there, so if you wander onto a Toyota lot perhaps on a Sunday and you're curious what trim level you were looking at, go ahead and swing around to the back. You're also going to get some body colored accents towards the bottom portion of that rear bumper there. You can't really tell because we got a black exterior, so anyways, that is what you're looking at there. And then just below it all, you guys can see there is a single exhaust outlet. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around to the back of the Corolla Cross here, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is actually a manual tailgate for all trim levels across the board. However, it's not in our case because there's actually an optional convenience package, and that gives you a power tailgate. We have that package. It also adds a power moonroof. We'll get more into that later, but that's pretty cool. So there's a button on the key fob. There's a rubberized button on the tailgate itself as well to open and close it. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 26.5 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there's a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. You get LED cargo lighting back there. You gotta love that. That typically doesn't come in the cargo area. Cargo cover for the XLE trim level. It's gonna be optional on the LE if you wanted it. Grocery bag hooks back there. You got some chrome plated tie down anchors as well. Then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire with a little bit of in-floor storage surrounding it. That's probably the best setup you could possibly get back there. But then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 32 inches even, so not a ton of space on paper, but for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. You do have rear ventilation though for all trim levels across the board. I love that because you don't get that in the Corolla. Dual rear USB charging ports for the LE and XLE trim levels. Got a rear center armrest with cup holders for the XLE trim level only. So rear passengers have it plenty fine back there, but let's go ahead and make our way up to the front seats. Manually adjustable cloth seating for the L and LE trim levels. You get a 10-way power driver seat with power lumbar for the XLE, Softex upholstery for the XLE as well. And the XLE is also going to give you heated front seats, which is located, those buttons are located just in front of the shifter. So that was definitely nice. So overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was plenty fine. I didn't have any issues last year with the cloth seats either, so either way you go, you'll be fine there. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It's going to be wrapped in urethane for the L, but then leather wrapped for the LE and XLE trim levels. So again, perfectly fine there. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. Got your Toyota logo on the bottom, lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear tailgate there, but it is all keyless entry with a push button start for the LE and XLE trim levels. You're going to get the turnkey start for the L, so I just wanted to give you guys a heads up there. But so all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that black engine start button located just by the driver's right knee. And so once started up, when it comes to the gauge clusters, there are 2 of them. You're going to get analog gauges with a 4.2-inch screen for the L and LE trim levels, but then a 7-inch digital gauge cluster for the XLE, and that's the one, of course, you guys are looking at right now. I love the 7-inch compared to the other one. The other one is probably the most basic gauge cluster in existence, but this one does okay. So you got your outside temperature, you got how many miles you have left until you hit empty. Of course, there's trip A, trip B. There's a large digital speedometer front and center, so it pretty much has everything you could possibly want on a digital gauge cluster there, but wouldn't have minded some customization though, Toyota, if you're watching this. But anyways, let's go ahead now and make our way to overall interior quality. There is a power moonroof available. It goes for $940 for the LE and XLE, or of course you can get it with the convenience package like I was mentioning as well. So those are the 2 ways you can get the power moonroof. Auto dimming rear view mirror is going to come with the XLE. I love that. So if somebody has their high beams on behind you, it's not going to bother you. And it is a frameless rear view mirror as well, so it's super high end looking. Ambient lighting for the XLE trim level, that is pretty cool as well. Wireless phone charger for the LE and XLE trims. It's located just in front of the shifter. You get automatic climate control for the LE, so you can set the temperature. It's going to automatically hit that. But then dual zone climate control for the XLE, so both driver and passenger can both set their own individual temperatures there. The other thing I really like about this is the overhead LED lighting. It kind of takes page out of Mercedes-Benz's playbook with that design. It's almost the exact design that they use. Little bit different, but still it's pretty nice. I like that. Everything surrounding the shifter is finished in a gloss black. I personally don't mind that. I think that's a pretty nice look. Electromechanical parking brake behind the shifter. You got your dual cup holders, and within the center armrest there is a 12-volt power outlet actually, and a USB charging port in there. Not a ton of storage in there, but I suppose it'll get the job done. I think the silver accents found in the doors, the door handles, and surrounding the climate control vents here, I think that's a pretty nice look as well. But what I really want to test out is this JBL sound system. So let's go ahead and get to the infotainment screen here. So it is an 8-inch color touchscreen display for all trim levels. You get Bluetooth and audio streaming, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay comes standard. That's pretty cool as well. Get your driving statistics statistics up there along with your radio information. So when it comes to the sound systems, the standard sound system for all the trim levels actually is a 6-speaker sound system. I tested that one last year. It is actually pretty darn good for a 6-speaker sound system, but there is an optional 9-speaker JBL sound system that goes for $900, and it's an option that we do have with us here today. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing this morning, and let's test out the clarity of this one. So yeah, that was plenty fine. Certainly enough of a sound system for the size of this vehicle. There was plenty of bass there. Clarity was 100% on point. I actually had a JBL subwoofer in my first car way back in the day, and it was pretty nice. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that sound system. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the Corolla Cross in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so to start, the Corolla Cross is an IIHS top safety pick, so that's a wonderful start right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. You get a driver's knee airbag up front. You also get rear side impact airbags, which a lot of times is an option on Mercedes-Benz and BMW manufacturers like that, so that's pretty nice. Also in the back, you got latch, aka lower anchors to tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. That gives you a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert with steering assist, lane tracing assist, dynamic radar cruise control, and road sign assist then as well. Then if you were to go with the LE and XLE trims, that's going to add to that a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert and safe exit assist as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, still the reliability is the main selling point of this thing. It is definitely gonna last a long time. You guys know the reputation of the Corolla engines. They just go on forever, and that's what you got in the Corolla Cross, a Corolla engine, hence the name. But good starting price point as well. There's nothing wrong with $24,000 for an SUV in today's age, so definitely like that. Good safety. I think the only two constructive criticisms I can think of is it's definitely slow, but again, that's something that I think I probably could get used to if I were to drive this just as a commuter car, so no issues there. And the other thing is, if you go with the L or the LE, you probably are going to have the most boring gauge cluster in existence. Maybe that doesn't bother you, and that's fine, but I will say it is a super basic gauge cluster. This one that we have today, it's not bad. I don't mind this, but anyways, let me know what you guys think of the Corolla Cross in the comments section below. That's about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media stuff somewhere on the screen if you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do on this channel for 11 years now. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know. I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.